Hi, and welcome to another edition to the SPFL Through the Lens. Jason just cutting in there. To answer your question, don't know.
All right, okay.
How are we doing tonight, lads? Obviously, you've just finished training. Shaun, how was training?
Training was good. It was a good session with the boys tonight. We had a game on Saturday against Celtic. The first game back in a year. So the first time I've actually seen the boys in a game. We've been doing a lot of training. The boys done well on Sunday. They've done what we asked for. They were a wee bit rusty, but I was pleased with what I seen. And then we've just took what we could have got better on Sunday. Took into training over this week Monday, and a wee bit tonight. And then I had to rush up here and get myself ready for this.
Is it the under 14s you said you do?
Yeah, under 14s, aye, 14s. Good wee squad, hard working, some very good technical players. And to be fair, I find it very harsh for them because the boys are only 12, 13, and the SFA, I don't know what they've done, Jace, you'll maybe know about this. They've moved them 6 months forward. So you're asking about kids to go and play under 14s, and they're still not fully developed at under 13s. They look like wee boys.
Yeah.
Like in the babies, and you're thinking, that's not 14-year-old football. Definitely not 14-year-old football. And I don't understand. I'll need to speak to people. I don't understand why they've done it. I don't see the reason why they've done it, but hey ho.
Because they're still getting used to the size of the pitches and all that, are they no?
Well, we're still playing with 9-a-side goals, intermediate goals, for the first 3 months to help. It's not just outfield players you're developing. You have to develop the goalkeepers as well. There's no point. For instance, we play at the stadium because we've got the AstroTurf pitch. There's no point in putting kids at 12-year-old and 13-year-old in full-size goals that you're asking our first team goalkeeper to try defend and keep goals out and keep clean sheets. Because all you're going to do is you're going to have bigger and stronger players who's going to hit it high and hit it hard, and that's the end of the score. And you could hit it for 20, 35 years. That's not developing a kid in goals. And we wonder why we don't develop as many goalkeepers over the last 10, 15 years. But you're probably talking the main ones is Davy Marshall and Craig Gordon.
Alan McGregor.
Alan McGregor, right? But I'll name more. You can't really name many Scottish goalkeepers.
Oh, you get Graham Smith and...
But it went on to developed him. It went on to a good level. Like McGregor done well. He went down the hill. He's outstanding for Rangers. David Marshall was outstanding for Celtic. Went down, played down in England. Craig Gordon's the record signing for a goalkeeper. He went down south. There's no, off the top of my head, there's not that many more that Scotland's developed, and they're actually playing at a good level.
Aye, I know you've got a point. Because we've some really good coaches, right enough, goalkeeping coaches.
I'll tell you one thing, I'm going to be a wee bit biased here. I've worked with Stevie Woods. Stevie Woods is one of the top goalkeepers that when I was a kid, when I was growing up and I was on the bench, and if there was a chance to go on at half time, I was ready to go on at half time because Woodsy warmed me up, and Woodsy was different class, but closely followed by Brian Potter. Brian Potter at Hamilton is different gravy. They two are up there, the best I've seen. Two of the best I've seen.
I mean, they're pretty good. What about you, Jason? How's your training going?
Training's been going all right, Peter. Very early, we're still getting to know the squad.
Shaun, is he with us tonight? Where are you looking? Have you got a...
No, he's
got me eye.
I've discovered I've got some paint on my wall that I need to get off.
No, one eye's going to the shop and one eye's coming back.
Jesus Christ.
We've been in for about 4 or 5 weeks now. Again, like Shaun, first game on Sunday against Rangers. Didn't go too good, if I'm brutally honest. Quite disappointed, if I'm brutally honest. Not some folk might think I'm being critical because you're obviously playing one of the top sides in the country, but just formations and whatever, just understanding that the things we were asking to do, they weren't carrying out on the pitch. Maybe showed a wee bit too much respect.
Jesse, on that note that you said there, see every time we go to Lennoxtown or we go to the Hummel Training Centre, whatever it's called now, I always tell our boys it's not the first team. It's no Rangers or Celtic's first team. They're the 11 kids, just like you.
Yep.
Go and play.
Mm-hmm.
I feel as if sometimes kids think, oh, because they're playing with Celtic, they must be better than me.
Yeah.
When you know and I know, everybody knows Celtic and Rangers go through that many kids at a young age.
Yeah.
They've probably retired more kids in football in the academy than has actually done it and went through the years.
Yeah.
Definitely.
They had about 4 or 5 quality players, to be fair. And you're right. I think there was maybe just too much respect there, or maybe a bit of fear. And the one thing I said to him is, don't play with fear. If you play with fear, you're just going to create problems for yourself. Your decision making is going to be poor, and you end up conceding silly goals, which you wouldn't normally do in a normal week. So that the second half, to be fair, with a bit of improvement, but apart from that, I mean, we're back at it again. We're off on Monday night. Boys are in. James has got them in tonight, and I'll have them on Friday. So Queen's Park on Sunday.
Where are you playing, Lesser Hampden?
No, it's at Port Glasgow. I think they're struggling for a pitch just now. What's happening in there, Shaun, is the whole place getting done, redeveloped at Queen's Park.
I know they're building a new stand, aren't they? Because that's where Queen's Park's going to move into Leicester Hampden, because they've sold
Hampden now, didn't they?
Aye, they're not in Hampden anymore, so Willie Hockey's building a stadium at Leicester Hampden for them.
Is that who owns them? Is it Willie Hockey?
Well, he's a big major shareholder.
He's put the money in.
I'll try to be nice and say he was a shareholder. But he's funding them.
Yeah.
His house is the most stunning house I've ever seen in my life in the flesh. That's the one. It's in the Cathkin Breeze.
Yeah.
Aye. Oh my! It's like a miniature version of the White House.
Yeah.
Is that the one that sits up on the hill on the left hand side? If you're coming to School Bride.
Aye. That's his house. Well, so I've been told. What a pad! What a pad! So the games at the weekend. The games at the weekend. Your team done well, Jason. 2-0 against Kelly.
Yeah. I did see a certain commentator say that it would be a draw, and I just had a wee chuckle to myself.
Who was that?
You.
Me?
And there was I had a few comments, and when did you do it? Thursday night or something like that? I think you done it. And I had a few private text messages and says you need to get this sorted out. So biding my time.
I just lined myself up for it.
Yeah, line yourself. There's a guy who used to coach me, right? Robert Gowther, his name, top lad. He's obviously a big Rangers fan. Obviously no brains, but there you go. His brother, I think, is involved. Another one of these Airdrie so-called. I'm an Airdrie fan, but I'm really a Rangers fan. But I'm just going to give Airdrie some money. I mean, that's what his brother's like, right?
Right.
So he said to me about 6. In fact, I'm going to say it's about 10 weeks ago. Actually, maybe about 10 weeks. He turned around and he says, and in fact, when was the Rangers and Motherwell game when it was 5 in defence and 5 in midfield? When was that game?
That was at Ibrox.
Aye. Was that about 3 months ago, 4 months ago?
Something like that,
Aye. So he's caned me. He's caned me, right? He's saying your team's a disgrace. Come on the Staggies. We're just going to turn these over big time. I'm going, wait a minute. Are you a Rangers fan? I know it's a disgrace. Negative football. So I am delighted with the performances that Motherwell were putting in the new, because Robert Gowther, oh my friend, I cannot wait to catch up with you.
Because I'm just looking through Shaun's predictions. He done better. Obviously, I only get one. Right? You get a few.
Aye, that's not because you had to say them because you work for them. I told you that on Facebook.
Not at all.
Aye, you did.
You were hoping for a United win. They get beat 2-0.
Aye.
Motherwell win, you go right.
Yep.
Aki's win, you get right.
Great result. I'll tell you now, Peter, that's a great result for Aki.
Definitely.
They've put it back in their hands now. So if they go and win the next 2 games, they're safe. They don't even need to worry about the playoffs. And the next 2 games is Ross County away up there, which they're capable of going and getting a result, and Kilmarnock last game of the season on a Sunday.
And then the other one was you predicted Hibs to win, but St Johnstone. But going back to Aki's, I mean, that's who do you think will go down then? Ross County.
Ross County's on a bad form. I think it all depends on next Wednesday. I really do. They got a wee buzz when John Hughes Yogi went in there, but they've just went back to no winning games. But then don't get me wrong, they get a good result against Dundee United, but I don't think it was Dundee United's full squad if I'm led to believe.
Aye, they've made a lot of changes, I think.
Aye, but I think they're doing that for the rest of the season as well, bringing kids in just to see, which is in their right to do. I understand what they're doing. They're trying to breed some kids in to see if they're good enough for next season. But I wish you'd done it. I wish we had them later in the season, so we're playing against kids. But
I mean, are you
Ross County? Like I say, I think a lot of it will do.
Are you guys all for the split?
No.
Do you not like it?
Nah, I don't.
Hate it. I think clubs, smaller clubs, when they see the fixtures come out, the first ones they look for is Celtic and Rangers.
Of course.
And then because that's obviously where the money is, and then they'll look at their Aberdeen, and then the rest is sort of potluck. So that opportunity to play Rangers and Celtic possibly at an extra time, doesn't matter what club it is. I think how many games are in the split anyway? Is it only 6 games or something?
5 games.
5 games.
What a waste of time. What a waste of time.
Jace, how would you work it then? Because to make it fair, because obviously what happens now is like the smaller clubs in the bottom 6 play Celtic Rangers 3 times, and financially, as a business sense, it would be ideal for smaller clubs to make the finance for the revenue coming through the gates and through the hospitality section and all that kind of stuff. But how would you work it then? Because if you were going to do 4 times, you would need to go 4 times, because a lot of clubs, when they do, they play them home and away, and then that's it. Because you're ready right now. You're getting 3 games against the Old Firm. Revenue. So you would need to then add another game. So you're playing each club 4 times. So that's a 44 league you're playing basically. 4 games, 44 games.
But also the team that's sitting at the bottom, though. I mean, with the split, obviously you've got the excitement, but if you're sitting at the bottom, then with the split, then you've got a better chance of survival with pulling results against the lower teams rather than playing the bigger teams like Aberdeen, Hibs, Rangers, Celtic.
But then you're playing them all over the season anyway. It doesn't matter if you play. If it goes to you play each team 4 times. It's a 44 game league. You're playing them anyway over the piece. It's just your Donald Duck when you're playing them. For the neutrals, it maybe look a wee bit more exciting because there's the last 5 games of the season. There's something to play for. Hopefully in the top. Well, no, this season anyway. There's nothing to play for in the top 6, but in the bottom 6 there's something to play for now. But for me, it then falls into the way of saying, well, you're hampering Celtic and Rangers, Aberdeen, all these ones who go into Europe, be playing a 44 league, like game league.
Shaun, just to answer your question, I think I would cut the amount of teams in the league, so that it would take down the amount of games you would play. I think then that would make it super competitive.
But then the other side you've got then, Jason, is who you cutting? Because you're at a 12 league team now. Two clubs aren't going to be happy. But
it makes it that more competitive, doesn't it?
Nice.
I just look at the Premiership, for example. If you had to present them with that idea, they would just laugh at it. I get the understanding behind it at the very beginning, because I was one of the guys that went, "Oh, this might make it a wee bit interesting." If you're going to do it, don't wait till the last 5 games. Maybe do it with maybe 10 games to go or something.
Maybe so, a year or something.
Yeah, a new year. That is. I mean, that's supposed to be the split. What do they call it? The winter break. For me, that would be a great opportunity to do it, because then you've got the Bolton team. I actually can mind the Motherwell going in the Bolton team one time and then Bolton tier one time and actually getting more points.
Aye. I was actually there that year.
I was going to mention that point. The team that finishes 7th can have more points than the team that finishes 6th.
How stupid is that? Really, isn't it? I've seen you may think about it and you go, nah, listen, I think we just overcomplicate things. I think that we try it. I mean, everyone knows VAR and whatever. I think VAR will work if you have the right people involved with it. And I mean, I seen an offside the other night there. Somebody's arm was offside. Come on. I mean, let's get football intelligent people in there to say, wait a minute, common sense here. And I think that's the only thing that's missing for it, common sense.
Because even that arm offside, that's not giving that player any advantage.
100%. 100%.
Now, to your point, if it was like half a body or something, where you could maybe get half a yard in front of him, but no an arm. That's just bloody crazy. Yeah. But I think, was it not just down to a selling point for the TVs that this all came about, the split, to make it interesting?
Yeah. Because then as well you get 4 Old Firm games.
Mm-hmm. How did you feel, Shaun, when you went in the split then? You were obviously at Motherwell still. How did you feel?
To be fair, it gave us something to aim for, because obviously our bonus was a lot better if we got the top 6 than it was if we were in the bottom 6, so it gave us something to aim for. I think there was, all my time there, I think there was only maybe 1 year that we never made it, and that was the year we should have went down, but one of the stadiums, I think it was Falkirk's maybe, wasn't ready to come up, and then we get an reprieve, but that was just after the administration stage. Then after that, we were in the top 6 continuously, year after year.
Yeah.
Going back to your career, Shaun, I meant to ask when you were on as a guest. I know people sometimes...
I'm not a guest?
No, you're in my furniture now.
Shaun, we've made you a superstar.
No, what I was going to... There's a difference as the best player you played with, right? Who's the player you most liked to play with? Not the best, but the player you most enjoyed playing with. Whether it was just a relationship you had on the pitch, an understanding, that sort of thing.
Fuck's sake, Peter. You put me on the spot now.
It's a good question, actually.
Because everybody goes down the road. Who's the best player you played with? Who's the best player you played against? But
I'll come back to that one.
Of course.
Think about that.
Here's a question then, right? Just based on that. Who's the best manager that you've come up against then?
Come up against?
You fucking give me. I'll tell Jimmy Calderwood. I'll tell you the reason why.
On you go.
We were at East Fife. I was at East Fife, and we've travelled all the way up there. It was the quarter final of the Scottish Cup, and we're playing Aberdeen. It was your times when we had Stevie Crawford, we had Gordon Stanich, we had big hitters. We're getting paid the money, and we go up there. We've travelled all the way up, and this always sticks out in my mind. We've travelled all the way up there. Keep it, Dave Bakey's like, keep it tight. First 15, 20 minutes, keep it tight. You don't know what can happen. Right, no worries. So we go out there. 5 minutes into the game, ball goes over the top. Willie McCulloch, ex-Airdrie, Jace, goalkeeper. I think he's a bit of a legend there. Willie comes running out past the box, grabs the ball. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Red card, right? It's hard enough going up to a full team that they had Solanko or whatever his name was, the wide left that's doing it. Down south now. So he gets sent off. So we went 4-4-1, and Jimmy Calderwood went straight away after 5 minutes 2-4-4. We could not get out. We were kicking balls in the corner. Ends up at one stage, the wee boy Luco was running. He's running inside, and it was about maybe a 70th minute, and I had just get fed up with him. I just took him out, and I'm lying top of him, hitting him and everything. I'm like, ref, just send me off. I'm done. We're part time. Everyone's went against us the first 15 minutes, but when I'm travelling back down in the bus, I'm thinking, you know what a move that is to Jimmy Calderwood to go 2-4-4.
Yeah.
He just pushed his. He played the 4-4-2. He moved his full-backs to midfielders. And moved his midfielders to wingers. Yeah. And then we could not get out. We couldn't keep the ball. We couldn't. Every time the ball went up, they had one man in front, one man behind the striker. It was Big Tapes at the time, and Big Sani. And every time the ball went up, the guy was in front of Big Sani, and he couldn't get the ball. We couldn't get out. And Stevie Crawford's running back the left wing. He's like, Figs, any chance of getting out? I'm like, any chance? I've got two guys in here. It was murder. Honestly, God, murder.
But adventurous.
I was going to actually say, is it no for your time at St Rock's when you come up against a certain good-looking
no, it wasn't you.
He's Kilbride.
I remember the time we came, was it at Blantyre? You were playing Blantyre Vicks. And you walked across the park. We were there actually to see Blantyre because we were playing them, and they had spent a good bit of money. They had spent a wee bit of money in the summer. And I only went to St Rock's to help a guy.
John Fallon.
John. Well, Johnny's dad, he took me at Calder Braes.
Right, all right.
And then they two done really well at Thornywood together. And then they just continued. They went to St Rock's. And when I finished at Stirling and I left there, young Johnny Fortis and says, you want to come in and give me a hand at St Rock's? I says, aye, no bother. And I went in there. That was the only reason I went in there. I think I played one game for them because we were.
Was that the game against East Kilbride when I was there then?
No, I never played against you.
No, you did. You played at Show Park.
I must have been shite.
One
of the ones I forget about.
The referee tried to do me big time after that. In fact, it was John Fallon, the dad, who saved my bacon. This referee made up this cock and bull story that I'd said this and blah blah blah, and I was super calm, and I ended up in Hampden, and if it wasn't for John Fallon, I would have been. I mean, this guy was just making this shit up. It was unbelievable. That it was flinging things at him and all this. What are you talking about? Honestly, I can remember that game. You look good in green, mate. You look good in green.
I always do, mate. I always do. To be fair, the game I can remember old Johnny losing it was against Davy Craig, is it?
David, I've one time.
Aye. So, but Davy was at St Rock's beforehand.
That's right, then, so he was, aye.
And there was something that happened that Johnny then took over, and there was a wee fight. I don't know what
David Gregg.
David Gregg, aye. Yep. So I didn't know what the story was, but we were walking off at half time and we were playing them, and it was 2 each. It finished 2 each, but I think it was like 2-1 to us. And David Gregg's having a go at the referee. And the way the wee man does, he just keeps on going. I'm walking past him like, mate, you give a paracetamol, I say, if he's going to shut the fuck up, right? And then I've walked past, he's still going. And the next minute, I've heard a bit of commotion, I've turned around, I've seen old Johnny have David Gregg's rain jacket. But it was one of the rain jackets with the wee pins. See, like
tires.
Get the hood up, the tires, right? Johnny's pulled that, and he's pulling it. He's trying to pull him.
He looked like a glow worm.
He's realised what he's just got, and he's just like and let it go, and it smacked him right in the face, and he's just went off his nut. And then the ref lost the plot and everything. It was brilliant.
See, obviously the two of you having a Motherwell connection. I've seen some on Twitter about Motherwell Player of the Year. Have you got any opinions who you would pick?
And I think when you go to Player of the Year, then I think you need to trust the players a lot. See what a player's playing, because there's no better award to get an award like that for your own professionals for me. And there's I think the managers come in. No, I was a big lover of Robertson, but
let's see the political shite Who would you pick?
I tell you what.
Jesus Christ, you're like Isa.
No, you could say Devante Cole could be up there for being in such a short time.
He's a favourite.
You could say the goalkeeper.
Liam Kelly, he's the second favourite.
He's done exceptionally well since he's come in. But I think the wee midfielder, we call him
Alan Campbell.
Tremendous. By the way, if Motherwell lose him this year, that's big shoes to fill.
I was going to say Alan Campbell first, and then the goalkeeper. What I've seen him recently.
Liam's a great keeper.
He got an alright upbringing at what team was he at?
He was at Rangers.
Livingston. He was at Livingston, wasn't he?
I think it was the old team, Shaun.
Right, okay. No.
Please go.
No, listen, to be fair, touching on a point you're making there, Jace, I think he'll be a bigger loss to Motherwell than what Turnbull is.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Why?
I just think his overall game, he can tackle, he can get forward, he can score goals. He gives you a lot more, his energy-wise. When it comes to Turnbull, watch him with Celtic, I've seen him, he's a class act with Celtic, but I don't see him running 60 yards back the way to make tackles. I don't see him dominating games. I don't see him getting it for the back and going playing. Alan Campbell does that.
Mm-hmm. Shaun, I actually see him going to Aberdeen. I think with Scott Brown going to Aberdeen there, he's obviously played against them, tried and tested against them, done all right against them. I mean, he could be saying with Glass, I think this boy Campbell, we could get on the cheap within
he's not signed the contract there.
No, he's not signed. No.
Kelso was saying that last week.
And
but where would they fit into the Aberdeen midfield when you've got Ferguson and McCrory?
Easily fitted. He's better than him.
I wouldn't go as far as better than Fergie. I like Fergie. Fergie's a good player. But it depends what shape they play as well. It depends what shape they play as well. If they play 4-3-3, for instance, McCrory sits or Campbell sits and the three of them playing the same. You know what I mean? That way.
For me, he's a better player than McCrory.
I wouldn't disagree with that, but for Fergie's kind of similar to him, and Fergie's done well. He had a good upbringing, he had a good schooling at Accies, and to be fair, if you want to take it or whatever, he never signed a contract at Accies, just like Alan's not done at Motherwell, and it cost the club. He could put millions on it because the figure that it's cost us. Because if we kept him for another 2-3 seasons, it'd be a fortune people would have to buy. As you see how he's doing.
I hope he goes down south. To be honest,
yeah.
I think he could handle the championship no problem. Knowing the stature of Motherwell's players, you'll probably find maybe a league below that will probably be of interest. But I mean, look at the Cadden boys. I mean, Oxford taking them. Chris Cadden going to Oxford. See, when I heard about that, I went, wow. Scotland International's got to Oxford.
Yeah.
I mean, all right, Columbus Crew. Columbus Crew was, for me, it was just. I don't know why I never stayed at Columbus Crew, to be honest, because America is a completely different setup for down there.
Is there no something, Jason, that the owners own the same, the two clubs?
I think.
And Oxford didn't have the money to buy them off Motherwell, so when he went abroad to Columbus, that was a loophole they could get out of.
Yeah. I think Campbell could do all right in there, Shaun. First and foremost, and this is what I couldn't get my head around with Turnbull, right? Yes, Celtics at that time was the best club in Scotland. Right? I get that, right? But if I'm Turnbull, I would be saying I'm going to Norwich because I've got a better chance of getting to the Premiership. Where you as a player, Shaun, would you just love to play in the Premiership?
If it's between Celtic and Premiership, come on now.
No, well, come on. Honestly, really.
Plus the option of winning things and playing in Europe.
I understand that. But then you're getting 10 grand a week more. I mean, football is, and I mean, you're lucky enough, Sean, you played until you were 36, 35? Well, all right, okay.
He looked like 36, 35.
A decent level, probably
sorry.
21.
That's how many games you played was 35, 36.
Started.
Right. But, I mean, football could be just like that. I mean, one bad injury in there, ACL goes or whatever. I mean, his career could be finished. And I think he's I mean, I get frustrated with that one because you look at Norwich, and Norwich are a quality side, even though they get relegated.
They're a big club.
And by the way, they're a big club.
Club.
They're not anywhere near the size of Celtic before you say anything, Sean, right? I know that, right?
No, there's no many.
Celtic's a world-famous club, yes. But to get to the next level for me, who do you want to play against? Do you want to play against Man City's, Man United's, Liverpool's, Everton's, or no disrespect, Motherwell, Hamilton?
You can play against the teams in the Champions League.
Yeah, that's
what once, twice.
I don't know. I've never.
You need to get to the next stage to play against the teams. Yeah. You forgot about that wee bit.
It's one of the arguments. So I mean, because you've got a short career, you need to look after your family and earn as much money as possible, and opportunities don't come along very much. But then, if the old firm come calling, it's very difficult to. I mean, because you would get a decent wage. Let's not kid ourselves. It's no pennies, but you've got the chance of European football, winning things. So at the end of your career, you can turn around and say, "I've got this big house," or "I've got these winning medals. This is what I've done in my career." Look at Jermaine Defoe.
I'll tell you about that one, Peter. Look at Brendan Rodgers. Rodgers won nothing when he came up before he came up to Scotland. Now he's got what? How many winners' medals?
What's he done there, though, Sean? Be honest. What's he done there when he's come up here?
He's come up here.
Right.
Apart from winning the treble.
Apart from
winning treble, and getting us into the next group stages of the Champions League.
That's because Rangers were still building at the time.
To answer it for me, he's raised his profile, right?
Aye.
And
that's a stepping stone.
And CV, everybody. I mean, Piero does great CVs and a good friend of mine, right? And one thing, I looked at one of the players that he done, and I looked at a list of some of the things who he's played for and whatever. And then his managerial career, there was nothing known his managerial career, right? Look at Brendan Rodgers. He comes up here, said nothing there. He's done through the youth systems and blah, blah. Top manager, by the way. Top manager. Did fantastically well for Celtic, right? But that's where he got his CV for. I mean, because he's got, as you say, treble.
Jace, but he was that one's pal Stevie had a slip away from winning the Premier League or not?
Aye,
Liverpool. Yeah, I mean, he built his profile up there. He's built his profile.
Do you think though, Sean, apart for the FA Cup or the Carling Cup or whatever it's called now, do you think the chances of Leicester winning the Premier League are still there?
No.
I
think see when Rodgers left, there's obviously hunches went in the background yet. But if it was myself and you're looking at it, and any sensible Celtic fan, the only team that Rodgers should have left Celtic for was your Arsenal. Played the same style of football, would fit in perfectly, but he's went to a Leicester who won the league with the players they had, but that was when other clubs were going through a transition. That for me will never happen again. The best he can hope for now is getting into the top four.
Yeah, this is when you start looking at behind the scenes. Why did he pick Leicester instead of Arsenal? There's a Super League just proved the Arsenal fans are causing all sorts of stuff along with Man United fans because of the board and the folk that are running the club. Maybe he just didn't get a good feeling.
It's got to be a good fit for you as a manager as well to take on the role. I know his last couple of years at Liverpool, that's where he he kind of fell out with Liverpool because he wasn't allowed to pick his own players. He says that in his book. And then at Celtic, one of his terms and conditions was that I'll look after the football side, that I'll pick and choose. And you kind of get a wee kind of telling tale when the Celtic signed a winger that he never knew anything about, and he done a press conference, and he's like, don't even know who he is.
Yeah.
And for me, that because I read his book, that played in my mind saying he'll be away soon, because he's now no running the football side. One of the things was that when I come to Celtic, I'll take responsibility for the football side, the signings, the training, everything. That's my side of it. And when people interfered with him, then it was a case of, nah, I'm away.
I totally agree with that. Because at the end of the day, it's a result-driven business, and if they don't get the results, he's at the door.
Yep.
So if you've got somebody else bringing in players that you don't know about and you don't want, then what chance have you got?
Exactly.
Shaun, as a Celtic fan, then I have this debate with a few of my mates who are big time guys. Do you think at that particular time when Brendan decided to go, it was the right time, or do you think he should have waited and get the trophy in the bag and then go?
I've had the same conversation with many fans. For me, I think if he wanted to go down in history for Celtic to be Celtic's best ever manager, he should have stayed. He should have stayed because he had the good team playing good football. Steven Gerrard coming up, don't think he would have matched Brendan and he's tactical, because Brendan's more advanced with more experience. I think Celtic would have got the 10 if Brendan was there. I think the quadruple would have been done anyway because Lennon done it with Brendan's team. So for a manager, I think things have happened in the background where they decide, you know what, there's a top 6 club in England wants me. Leicester, if they agree to my terms, I'm happy to go there because it's my terms. But as a career-wise, like I said before, Arsenal should have been the club he went to because it fits his model, it fits his philosophy, it fits everything that Brendan Rodgers is about. But then again, like Peter says, there must be something in it that he never went to Arsenal or he never held out. But it could have been that he had enough of Celtic, he had enough of people interfering, that he decided just to leave it. That suited him because it's about him. If he, like Peter says, it's his decisions, it's his results that keep him in a job or get sacked. But if people are interfering, then he's had enough. And I'll go back to it. In his book, people were interfering when he was at Liverpool, and he said he would never ever in his life do that again. Let people dictate to him what was going to happen at his football club.
His name's getting touted about for the Tottenham job. So based on what you've just said there, do you think you'll not be interested in that one there? Because Daniel Levy is just, I think when you look at the Prime TV thing, he sort of talks a good game for me, but I think he's got other influences that right, yeah, he controls the purse strings, but I sort of get the feeling with Leicester there's a comfortable environment. He's enjoys. By the way, he's got a very good side there. Mm-hmm. I think he's actually developed them. Even though they're good players, I think he's taken them on to another level.
No, to answer your point, I don't think he'll go to Tottenham. Like you say, you see it with Mourinho. Levy signs Gareth Bale. Mourinho didn't start him. And if you can go pros and cons here, Bale, since Mourinho's been away, scored something like 4 or 5 goals in the 3 games he's played. But he couldn't get a game with Mourinho as manager. And then it's interference with the outsider that had the end of Mourinho. So I don't think Rodgers would like the interference. And I also agree with you, he's in a comfortable position at Leicester because the people at Leicester just let him go and get on with his football. They don't have any say about his team. They don't say anything about his tactics. They let him go and just manage the football side of it.
Mm-hmm. Could you be second, lads, to?
No, Pedro's disappearing here. Sorry, boy. I agree with that, mate. I mean, I think if you look at this game for the weekend there, I think that Rangers Celtic game, I think Celtic next year have got a massive job. Whoever comes into that job, seemingly Eddie Howe's been spotted in Dakota like for the last couple of days.
See, it's a total rebuild, Jace. It's a total rebuild.
Yeah.
And for look
Oh,
at
wait a
him.
minute.
Look at him.
Right, lads. We're talking about the Old Firm game then.
It's Swatty!
See,
Swatty! I thought you were no well, pal.
Oh, I'm doing fine.
Fine, fuck, it's an upgrade for fucking that cunt, Peter.
So what are it? Oh, it's no.
It's only me. Aye.
Peter.
Aye.
Sorry, Jace. Peter, you can take the mask off now.
Cheeky arse.
By the way, I thought he was going to slip there for a minute.
Hey, stand here.
Hold it. It's a family show, Peter.
Aye, calm down.
Aye, so we're just starting to talk about the Celtic Rangers game there, Peter.
Aye. I was looking through a lot of clips. Obviously, too many to show on here, right enough, because there were good things. What I found was, what's the story with Aya? He was one of the main threats.
He's a shite bag.
Ah, well.
Don't give me that nonsense. He's one of the main threats.
No, on Sunday.
What's he doing for the second goal?
Aye, all right.
Don't shoot the road.
Right, okay. Okay, we won't talk. Don't talk.
We'll talk about Christopher Aya then.
Don't talk about By the way, he's going to be a massive loss if he leaves that Celtic team, right? Massive loss, right? Yeah, he could have been braver. I think the keeper could have done better as well, Shaun, to be honest. I mean, I'm looking at the nutmeg as well. I'm saying, what can Brown do a wee bit better there? I don't know. That's a questionable thing. But for a centre back, I think he's tailor made, and I can see a pattern forming here for Southampton, because they've done it with Virgil. He went down there, loves to go forward. Wait, is he Norwegian? Aye. I mean, this trending European centre backs driving into the midfield and going into central striking areas. I mean, it's coming a common thing, and I think I think he's away, mate. I really do. I think he's away.
See, to be honest with you, Jason, right, if you're comparing to Van Dijk was a better defender than him.
Yeah.
Totally better, and he got away with a lot of things with his pace. Ayer gets caught out a lot of times. When he goes forward, he can't get it back. He can't get back. For me, ideally, where he should play is either right back or right wing back. It gives him the freedom to get forward.
Go forward.
Great getting forward, and great. To be fair, I love watching him when he was playing right wing back at a time when Frimpong was injured and we never had him at the right hand side, and Ayer just kept on bombing up that one. But if he's playing centre back and doing it, it causes Celtic problems. Big problems, because he can't get himself back. Van Dijk got himself back. Unless you've got a coach.
Quick, you know.
He's quick. But what I'm saying is, he's leaving the gaps. Either Van Dijk had better people covering him, or Van Dijk got back better and quicker and got into the defence and safety, got kind of thing a lot better than what Ayer does, because Ayer does chuck his hands up in the air when things don't go his way and moans at everybody else. But for me, unless you've got a good coach or a good manager that's going to develop him defending, I don't see him going to be a top centre half. I can see him being a top right back or right wing back.
I was trying to look up a wee clip him going forward, where I thought he was the sort of main threat that I thought, because Edward, I don't think his attitude was right on Sunday. Oh.
he wants away, right? The guy just wants the season earned done with. He wants away. I tell you what, I'm going question JK for Shaun, and you can agree with it or you can disagree with it, right? We all know about his baggage, his problems, and whatever comes out. But Lee Griffiths, right, when they go down to 10 men, right, stupidity for Cal McGregor as far as I'm concerned, right? But when it's 2-1, I still seen Celtic create chance.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously Rangers go and score again. I mean, they're 10 men. Why? I mean, if I'm a manager, I'm saying, well, listen, I would rather get beat 4 or 5-1 and go for it, or just try and see what happens next. And I think Griffiths should have been on the pitch probably about half an hour to go.
I think he should have started.
I think he should have started. The reason being, when they started off with a 4-2-3-1, Edward was up front himself. Now, one of the previous games at Ibrox, they played the 4-4-2 with the diamond, but Griffiths was up front, and they were pressing Rangers centre-backs. So Rangers had to go wide and high. But with Edward, he was just up front himself, and he's not a chance. Rangers were allowed to play for the back. No, I mean, it's... But
Peter, the stuff at a striker, when you play a lone striker, with our kids, we play 4-3-3, and our kids know how to go and press the centre half. So, like Jason's saying, for him to his attitude, his application, if it was me, I wouldn't have started him, especially after the last Old Firm game. Mm-hmm. When he's doing these wee side flicks to try and score. He wasn't interested. He's doing wee flicks in the corner so he doesn't get hurt. He's not in it for the team. He's in it for himself. For me, I wouldn't have started him. And for the formation to get changed when McGregor gets sent off, that's something that Rodgers done, and it worked for Rodgers. Especially at Ibrox, he went, instead of going 4-3-3 and then get somebody sent off. And I think Forrest was the one that went up top with Eddie.
It was, yep, it was.
And Celtic ended up winning the game 3-2, I think it was. And Eddie scores a winner for wide left. But Kennedy's obviously learned that for Rodgers. Says, you know what, I'm just going to go 4-3-2. Because if midfield three they do the same stuff. It's what they would normally do in a 4-3-3. But for me, Eddie wouldn't have started for me. And on the point, Jason, McGregor, I agree the two of them are bookings. But the only thing I would maybe turn around and say, because I've seen it happen so many times, is after the first booking, when he's been megged by Kent, who, by the way, Kent was unplayable.
Yeah.
The decision making there was different class. For any young kid watching that, that's how you play football. But for my Meg, McGregor takes him out. It's a stonewall yellow card, and for me dive in after it is silly for an experienced international player. It's silly. But what I will say is for the referee, and I've said this to many Rangers fans, and I would say it, I would agree with it if it happened to the Rangers as well. The referee's first Old Firm game, or the boy Walsh, Nicky Walsh, or whatever his name is, it was his first Old Firm game. And I think a wee bit of common sense would have come into play by saying, you've just had a yellow card, you've just made another stupid tackle. Bring your captain over, speak to the captain and say, he's getting no more chances now. It was his first tackle after getting his first booting. How many players do you see getting a booting and then getting another 3 tackles after it, and then the ref speaking to the captain to say he's not getting another chance now? Mm-hmm. I think he was too quick with the 2 bookings. But I'm on saying that it is 2 bookings, but for me, I think it was Nicky Walsh was too quick.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's Vanny's booking there, but I think
he's actually tried to pull out it as well.
Yeah,
if you see it.
Look, I'm listening to you. I think because of the type of foul it is, Shaun. It's definitely about. You're right. Some referees, maybe experienced, would turn around and say, "Listen, I'm doing your turn here," and you've seen it. But I think because of the extent of the tackle, now he's ready to blow. You can see he's ready to blow, And I tell you what, I think you need to give him some plaudits as well, because that's a big decision he's to allow the game to carry on.
He should have gave the foul and sent him off then, and Rangers wouldn't have scored the free kick.
There you go. There's the green glasses coming on. There we go.
No.
It's a great goal, though, by the way.
It's a great
fantastic goal.
He done well.
The improvisation on that goal there is, I mean, he's a top player, by the way. Ruth. He is a top player. And you get him fit, man.
Here we go. So we've got the free kick.
Notice how you said we.
And then obviously it wasn't long after that Edward goal. I mean, so they came back pretty quick, even though a man down.
See, to be fair, that was a part of the game. If you look at the overall game, if you take the turning points in the game, Rangers get the goal, McGregor gets sent off, Celtic get back in the game with Eddie's goal, and then not that long after it, Morelos goes up the park, scores. Second half starts, Turnbull has a great chance with his header, misses that, Rangers got the park and score. Rangers took their chances, Celtic never.
That's been the case all season though, Sean.
Aye. No, that's from Celtic season up.
I mean, as well, I mean, it's a good ball in. Do you think...
Great header for Ayer. And I think it's Laverick or whatever his name is, the left back.
Mm-hmm.
He switches off and Eddie gets a free header.
But for him to come in there himself, look, there he's in between Barisic and Aribo. And he just wasn't picked up.
Hold on a minute. Thank fuck you never came back with something on, Jason. I was going to fucking
take your mask off. Take your mask off.
I was chucking it. I was fucking chucking it there and then.
Then you've got me Morelos goal.
The good thing I like about this goal here, right? Patient build-up. The first phase of it, then I've gone back to the kicker. There's no panic because normally it's just a loud pin to the area again. When it's went to the other side, no, it's very good play. The defending part was a bit questionable for me. But the goalkeeper, wow. Don't know what he's doing. Scott Brown's doing.
I think Scott Brown's got to do better here. He gets in too easily. He gets a ricochet. But there, Ayer ends up on the flare, diving. If he stands up, it hits him in the face. And that's what all good centre-halves get renowned for. And that's why they get paid. To get a ball in their face to stop the shot. Don't get me wrong, once he ducks out the road, I'm expecting Bain to save it. Peter's fucked that again.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a bit lucky there. But it's the power behind the shot.
Yeah, with Peter.
Peter, his hand.
Have you not seen it?
No, it froze. Take this time to cut it, so you can cut this bit out.
Go to the next one.
The next one. Right, so what I quite liked it. Aye, but for an older player, they were one of the challenges that's saved Rangers for going level, or Celtic for going level, was Steve Davis.
Yeah, he played well.
Where this is... So there's Davis, just at the referee there. Coming all the way back to make that challenge.
By the way, what about him running past Goldson?
No, I mean, it's... For one of the older players on the park, I thought that was really, really good.
Aye, and like what I said the other now, what about him running past Goldson? He's centre half. He's actually ran past Goldson to make that tackle.
Now, one of the... Just let me know if you can see this. One of the things that I noticed, Greg Taylor, what's your thoughts on him, Shaun? Because there were a couple of times where I thought, oh, he could have took a player on. And he didn't. He made the wrong choice. Now, I think this is the one... now, you'll be able to guide me better. Can you see that all right? Aye.
I can see it, but it's not playing.
No, I paused it. Right.
It's still paused, Peter.
Is it still paused, is it?
Ah, you fucked that again, Peter. Jason, he starts at a 9, and then he fucks his slides up for my show. He goes down to a 3. He done well last week with all his shite. It's up to a 7, and he's back down to a fucking 2 in my eyes.
Right.
I'm giving him a 1.
I was being nice. I just because I seen Walter Smith come into him.
Right. Well, what I'll do is I'll keep it on the smaller screen. So he's...
Yeah. Just let that play. Pause that again. There we go.
Instead of taking the player on, he's... Now, the reason why I picked that one was, do you think he could have been playing further out? Look at all that space that is behind Aribo to run into, rather than playing it inside.
I think it all comes down to the actual player as well. You'll know in yourself in the game nowadays that you don't really see out and out wingers. It'll go and take players on. Up in Scotland, probably our best one is Ryan Kent for Rangers. It goes and beats players, and the amount of times he done a step over and beat somebody was frightening. For me, football nowadays is turned into more about possession, keeping the ball, go back the way, go side the way, and then this one here you'll see when it comes out to Greg Taylor.
Now, I think this one was, he made the bad choice. Rather than open up his foot and play it in front of him, plays it inside.
Comes down to confidence as well, and what the manager's asked him to do. Again, he's looking to keep possession instead of going and create something. For Scotland's not got that many talented players that will go and create stuff. It's always your steady eddies, your hard work rate, your hard work rating players. You know what I mean? So
I think you just have to look at that one there, though, Shaun. Right? If they've got 11 men on the pitch, well, look who that's Taverner just in behind.
Aye.
So you've got an extra man in there. The other striker's going to be so his first touch could have been played into a striker if they had 11 men. But that time there, I mean, he's the overload, isn't he? He is that overload. They're taking full advantage. Yeah. If you have another striker where Tavernier is, if they were back to 11 men, that poor first touch he has, Peter, is going to go. Aye, Tavernier.
That's Aribo is near him, and then Tavernier's there.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying, Jason, but see if he takes his touch towards the byline, if he down there, and he goes 1v1 and get a cross in, but he doesn't. He can get his body in. His first touch beats the player, and he gets his body in and can get a cross in.
Or first time, then Edward could come in here.
Aye, but he doesn't run. Come on.
Nah.
See, Edward, you have to know your players.
True.
What we're saying, Peter, is see where Tavernier is, see where the line is. If there was an imaginary striker there, that run with that line there, and this is where the dynamics changed for me with Celtic, because he's probably thinking in his head, listen, I might get away with this here. Maybe expecting Eddie to move into there, but you're right. He's very central player. If it's in the box, yeah, you'll get him going to left or right, whatever. But in these areas here, he's very much a focal point.
I think he was just trying to be clever to cut it back inside to get Aribo off balance, but his touch was just far too hard.
If it's me, if I'm coaching my kid and that situation comes along, I'm looking for my winger or my fullback to hit the byline and get crosses in the box.
Yeah.
And be confident, be positive. Go and take your man on. Don't turn back into bodies. Don't turn back away for the goal. Pass the ball 10 yards back the way. You're 10 yards further away for the goal.
Mm-hmm. So then we come on to Rangers' third goal.
This is just after the Turnbull chance as well.
Right, so that's Roof picking the ball up there, right? And then obviously playing it out wide. I like the way he's just running. There you go.
He started the move for deep, and once you do that, you're hard to pick up, to be fair. Especially the way Celtic just shuffle across. If the man pressing the ball, I think it's Bruni. Bruni should maybe go with him all the way.
I'm looking at fielder matching that there, Sean.
Aye, but that's just what I say. That's the way you were brought up. That when it goes there, Bruni's across to him.
Right there.
Yeah.
As soon as he plays that ball, that's right. Where's he going next? That's what I'm thinking if I'm a player. Right, where is he going? Could I centre back there? Because I think that's higher in the box. Could he pass him on to Bruni? Pass him on to him?
Aye.
Possibility. Because you look at the numbers here, there's a 5v2. The now.
Right, that's Walsh and there's Aya.
Right. Yeah. So Aya's a spare man.
So then he's running all the way for here, right through. Surely, as you say, Bruni should be picking him up, surely.
Yeah, there has to be a block there for me. There has to be some sort of block.
Go and run it to see where Bruni goes.
I think it goes in behind Aya.
No.
Aye, no. See the thing I was going to say, right, and that's why I wanted to run across. See, Bruni always goes and makes it a 2v1 in a wide area. And I think he's tried to go across there and then realised that the cross is coming in. The left back's done well. Look at Bruni. Bruni will start to go across towards the right back to try and make it a 2v1. And that's why he's left him. That's where Aya, like you say, Jace, is going to pick him up.
Yeah.
But the crosses came in too early. Well, not too early for Rangers.
And by the way, you're right, Sean. This is how I love these shows here, right? Peter, this is Peter's baby, right? With the analysis. I mean, through the normal eyes, you're not going to see this.
No.
But once you break it down and then you strip it down, you're right. Bruni's doing a protecting role with the fullback in case he gets beat with a 1v1. Understand that, but Aya, I mean, his body shape's in a good shape to see everything there. Apart from the guy to his left hand side.
They must know though. That's Barisic. So he never takes anything to the byline.
No, we're not on about that, Peter. We're on about seeing Bruni's doing a covering role at that front post there. That's where he goes.
Right.
We're on about Aya. Aya's body shape.
I don't think it's good. I don't think it's good, Jace. I think he should see that. Who's that? Arobo? What's his name?
Aribo.
Right, see him. Who's marking him? Who's at left hand side of him?
I think he's waiting the fullback to get there. Look at who's that in front there. Is that
Christie?
Christie, I think it is, maybe.
Right, so it's Christie passed him on then. Because see if Christie's passed him on to Aya, Christie has to see Roof and get himself tucked in.
Yeah. I'll look at the fullback.
Is that no?
Fullback, I think the fullback kissed a bit.
Is that no Elanusi?
Well, if it's Elanusi, I can't remember the time when Christie came on. It looks like the number looks like Elanusi.
That's Elanusi. Then you've got Taylor.
But then Taylor's also seen Kent.
Do you not think Taylor's not too high there, Sean? I mean, when we're doing our coaching there with the kids, for me, that's a 2v2. Listen, you want the full back in deeper.
Aye, but Elyounoussi should be, if he's passed a rebo on to Aya, he's got to see Riff. He's got to see. He can actually see him. He's in front of him. He's in his vision. Yeah. He's got to see the danger and get sail across there. Like you said earlier, Jason, it could be a block or anything. Just stand in the way. But he doesn't. He just lets the play run.
Aye, let's go through. Yeah.
Elyounoussi even just stands.
Aye.
Right, look at the fullback as well. I just look at that fullback here. I'm saying, even if he continues his run in there and what, I mean, can he stop it? I don't know, but it can make it a wee bit more difficult for him.
I don't think so there, because you'll be holding fucking Ayer's horn then, if you're that far in. You know what I mean? And then if it goes to the back post, you're saying that the fullback's too far tucked in my opinion.
I would prefer in that area there where the ball goes. For me, I would be saying to the kids, listen, you need to make sure you're protecting the 6-yard box. And if it's the ball on the left, going right to left, like make sure you're protecting your centre backs.
Now, one of the things that I just wasn't watching it right, but these sort of games you would think that Scott Brown would be up for these sort of matches. Right, and there were only a handful of times that I've actually seen him really putting in a challenge on Sunday.
See, for me, I think Bruni's maybe one of the last of the old guard kind of thing, that he needs somebody to play against that was in the same mindset as him, that he gets him fired up. It's got a wee bit about him. He gets it sometimes off Morelos.
Right, there he's chasing him there, right? Normally you would see him hunting like that, doubling up with players, hunting players down, closing them down. But see on Sunday, I didn't see him doing that a lot.
But mind Peter, they're doing 10 men for a big part of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're trying to do a structured shape there. I mean, you're not marking players there. Really, Peter, you're marking areas.
You're just trying to be hard to beat.
Yeah.
Aye. I mean this is where you guys come into your own with your coaching and everything else, where you went through your badges and you can usually easily see things a lot easier than what I do. I mean, I was going to go through a sort of Edward chance where Celtic had their chances, as you said earlier on, Sean. I mean, look, but this is what we were talking about earlier on at the beginning. His attitude was just all right.
It's just doing his decision making, really. I think there was a couple like that.
I think I thought the rain harder, Jason, to be honest.
Yeah, I think just see if we can go back just before it. I think, is that Turnbull that's up with him? Was that Elyounoussi that's up with him?
This is another chance, sorry. I skipped over that there.
No, it's all right.
It's all right, we didn't want to talk about it, Peter.
Look at that.
No, that's a bad miss.
That's a terrible miss.
That's a bad miss.
Going back to the Edward chance, sorry.
Yeah, I'm looking at that player just at the referee there. And I'm saying, listen, you're 2-1 down, go bust the gut to get in the box. And I mean, again, that's just a wee bit of heart for me. I mean, show a bit of heart to get in the box. Look, walking. Oh, I'll just go a wee jog here.
Aye.
I mean, I think he should have had the trigger there, Sean, just before that.
Aye.
Before the angle shuts down, because you know yourself, you get limited to the time that you've got in the 18-yard box. Maybe a first-time strike.
Once he's got it past the boy Simpson, I think it is, then he should be maybe taking for the edge of the box. If you look at it. He's got lucky there because it's a bad touch. So if he goes there and take it on.
Right, aye.
Aye, the one he took the extra touch, it could be 5 yards back. Aye, he's took an extra touch he doesn't need to take. But again, we're saying this a couple of weeks after Elyounoussi takes a touch inside 8 yards, but he doesn't need taking, he should just be putting it in. It's the same stuff you're going over with Celtic players all the time.
And then obviously going back here, this chance again.
That's a great drive for the middle of the park there, right?
But Jason, look what I'm saying. Look where it is now. Take that back, Peter, before we continue. This is what I'm trying to say about the difference between him and him and Van Dijk. Take it back to when they had the ball, Peter. Right, so he's passed the ball, and watch his reaction, watch everything about him. Right, he's not getting the ball back. He's still going. Now he's out of shape. He doesn't get the ball. He chucks his hands up. He's still out of shape.
Is he not just organising here? Do you know, think, Shaun?
No, he's mourning at the fact he never got the ball back. Take it back, Peter. Watch him. Look, that's no organising.
No. I just see with the arm going back the way. Yeah.
That's just mourning, and that's where I think he lets himself down, because he'll drive the game very well, very, very well, and he'll play it on. And if he doesn't get the ball back, he goes in his wee huffs and puffs and chucks the arms up. And I said that at the start of the programme about
he done it in the second half when he went actually into the box, where he wanted a touch back.
Go run it on and we'll see the chance. Sorry, Peter, I was too busy with Aya. Celtic work it well, a 2v1 at the outside, bring Simpson out. It's a great delivery in, and Elyounoussi just shuts his eyes. Tavernier's jumped, he's not really committed. If you're committed and you're going to go for it, you're putting that in the back of the net. But he's hoping it's going to go in the net.
Nice. I don't know, it's obviously you guys will be able to see that a little better, but as you say, with Ayer, he's obviously split the dummy out when the ball didn't come back to him.
What's the score now? Is it still 2-1 or is it 3-1?
No, it's 3-1. We're just going to have a wee look at the last goal. Defoe just come on. So that was a terrible pass.
I watched his celebrations there. Is that him just a wee final farewell? Do you think that'll be him, Peter, finishing it?
No. I thought apparently they're in talks to maybe extend it for another season. But
I see him going more as a striker role, as a coach.
Aye.
I think he'll go into that.
No, I mean he's fell into the club. He gets it, and he certainly loves being about the place. And I'm sure the players.
And see, be fair as well, Peter. Sorry for interrupting. See, be fair as well. He's not got that much to look back on for the history, because he's only got a few years to look back on that.
Aye, sure. Aye. The trophy room will show you all the history in there. That's all you need to know.
Did the taxman not take him away with him or not?
No. That reminds me of the Kevin Bridges jokes about the time they owed money to a face painter. And all I could imagine was the director going about face painting is a lion. that always got me, that one. So that was the fifth Old Firm game of the season, and obviously it was a great turnout for Rangers, but been a terrible season for Celtic. So the massive rebuild that they've got during the season, the summer, Shaun, who would you say they're going to keep? Far less who's going to go. Who would you prefer them to keep?
I think it depends what kind of manager you're bringing in, because obviously Rodgers comes in. I'm going back to Rodgers. Rodgers goes back in and he brought in Sinclair, who he was tried and tested with. He brought him through the youth ranks. He took him to Swansea with him as well when he was a manager down there. He knew what he was getting from him. But also, Rodgers tried to bring youth through. They tried to bring the youth players through, so they had something to play for. They had a hunger. Lennon went down the road of bringing in players that's no hungry, and it shows with the last year with some of his signings. If it's going to be Eddie Howe, like we were talking about earlier on, you never know. The case could have been he's accepted the job months ago, but he's not starting till the start of this season. Start at the end of this season. Then that he might be ready to have players in mind. For me, Celtic are never going to make the Champions League, so they're £25 million short straight away for that.
So they'll make the money up by selling Edward and players like that.
That's what I was going to say. You're going to have to sell Edward. You're going to, for me, as McGregor ran his course at Celtic, possibly, I know Leicester's interested in him, so they could, two of them could go for 25 each, and then you could sell Ayer for 10 million. I think, if you know what I mean, to Newcastle, but I honestly believe Ayer's probably better than Newcastle, if I'm being honest.
I think McGregor will be. I think he'll stay and he'll be the captain. But the main thing you need to look at is right up the spine of your team. Starting off with a decent keeper.
Right. I watched I was watching Brentford. I watched Brentford a couple of weeks ago, and I actually put it on Twitter. I didn't put it on my page, but I watched the goalkeeper there, and everything he done was different class. And see these kind of players, it's just not making the Premiership, like Jason said. You want to go and play in the Premiership, you want to do this. See the clubs that's not making it in these playoffs. Then there's a chance for Celtic, like you say, there's a chance for Celtic to go in and say, we can offer you European football. You can play at the highest level in your club career. You can win medals. You can win trophies. That's the players that Celtic should be needed. I think the boy was only 25-year-old. That's the players that Celtic should be going to do a rebuild job. And have them young, have them there for 2, 3, 4 years, and then build around that. But you're right. I would love to see the boy for Brentford as Celtic's number one. To be honest with you, he's kicking, everything, his distribution, his handling, he's coming for crosses. He just looked a class act to get the game I watched him. But then you build up for your back, your back four or back three or back five or back whatever you want to call it, whatever formation the manager's going to play. For me, like I said before, Ayer's not centre half. For me, he's put more to the right hand side. But it depends on the goal, on the manager that comes in.
There's Jason away.
Jason, am I boring you, mate?
Yeah.
I mean, what's your thoughts on the goalkeeper? A lot of clubs have these sort of job specs where they need to be good with kicking, taking a back pass, come out for crosses, distribution, all that sort of stuff. But then you look at Alan McGregor, where he's just pulling a great shot stopper, but he doesn't come out for anything. His distribution is not the best. It's all right, but you can't fault his shot stopping. And at the end of the day, he's had all these clean sheets. He's had 11 Old Firm clean sheets. I mean, one more and that's him got the Old Firm record.
I'll look at what we've learned for Pep and whatever, and this sort of brand of playing it for the back and whatever, the goalkeepers and whatever. You just have to look at Scottish keepers in particular. Andy Gorham. Andy Gorham was the exact same.
Great shot stopper.
Great shot stopper. Allowed the centre halves to do the cross ball work and whatever. He never came out for cross balls. Is it important as a defender? 100%. For me, being an old defender, there's nothing better than a goalkeeper coming out and plucking one out the air and taking loads of pressure off you. Yeah, but I just don't know.
Who would you say was the best at that? Oliver Kahn?
At cross balls or?
Aye, coming out.
He'd have to be up there. Yeah. Do you know who's the German keeper now?
Neuer.
Neuer. He's pretty decent. He's pretty decent. But there's no really. The art of goalkeeping for me has changed as well. You're right. The old dog tried to teach him new tricks with McGregor. If he's pulling off worldies like he did on Sunday there, you can't coach that.
No.
That's fame within. I mean, that one he touches onto the bar. That is a phenomenal world-class save. And you can't coach her.
Just try to see if I had that clip. Because it's just one of I have, right, so
I can't wait to start talking. To start talking about Motherwell here, by the way. This is Daily Rangers here again.
No, I've been rather complimentary to Celtic, if I know. It's all Celtic shit.
Fuck's sake. To be fair, again, that happens before Rangers take the lead.
Yeah.
So Rangers says got to take the lead. Celtic get a draw again. I'm going to repeat myself now. Celtic get a goal one each. Then Morelos scores. Turnbull misses a great chance to make it 2 each. Rangers got part and make it 3-1. It's about taking your chances and again having a goalkeeper that can make saves like this.
Mm-hmm. And then obviously the one for the Kenny cross.
To be fair, he should be saving them all day long.
About how many times have you seen it go near the keeper and into the corner?
I tell you what, Sean, that's a cross. We all know it's a cross, but you know what? Still needs to do the job.
He still needs to save it, but he should be saving it anyway. He's not under any pressure. To be fair, if I'm critical, I think you should have told it.
No, it's just one of the things I've always thought with. You've got these job specs for keepers or players and everything else, and you're pigeonholing players into positions. Saying, oh, he needs to be this, he needs to be that, and the next thing. At the end of the day, can they not just do their job that they're positioned for? Because at the end of the day, we've come away from a natural winger. You don't see players like Jimmy Johnston or Jim Baxter or players like that, Brian Laudrup or Cooper, going down the wing, taking it to the byline. You don't see players like that. And then the one that really got me was Chris Boyd. He kept getting criticised. He needs to have a more work rate coming back, like what Morelos is doing. His work rate is fantastic, but it affected his goals. At the end of the day, it's goals that win you games. So get the ball into.
No, I agree.
Where the player is. Guys like John Robertson and Alan McCoist and all these sort of guys, where they're natural goal scorers.
The game's changed dramatically for the days, Peter. I mean, you don't really get a Alan McCoist type player, a fox in the box type player. It doesn't really. I mean, it's all about building up.
Hold the bus. Like, you're now talking about Alan McCoist. You could have talked about Dougie Arnock. You could have talked about Tommy Coy. You could have talked about any Motherwell player, fox in the box. But no, you go back to Alan McCoist. You're a Rangers fan. Put the bus here. I know
you. Okay, I'm just trying to think. I can't remember a Celtic player, just to keep you happy, Sean, right?
No, I'm not even looking for Celtic players. I'm going on your words.
I wouldn't even say Dougie Arnold was a fox in the box, to be honest with you.
No, Tommy Coyne was.
Tommy Coyne was, yeah. But I've got a bit of history with Tommy, so don't bother with that.
On your point, Jason, see when you go back when McCoy scored the most goals, you had a tall guy and a wee guy. You had the flick on. You went from back to front. The game's now wanting to build the game up, getting the ball into midfielders, and then midfielders movement, then the strikers movement. Strikers coming and being a false nine. A load of piss, this false nine, but in my eyes, just go and be a striker and go and score goals. I agree to an extent with Peter. Go and do what your job is. Chris Boyd done it for fun. Put the ball in the net. If you had other people run about them, the John Robertsons, the McCoys, they all had a player to work off of. And at that time in the 80s and 90s, it worked for them. It's a style of football, and the style of football now has changed.
Night and day. Anyway, lads, on that note,
no, I've got the wee guy that you asked me who I like playing with the most.
Who you enjoy playing with,
and who I enjoy playing with the most, and to be fair to him, he's never ever really made it. Like no professional, like full time. Was wee Bobby Lynn. Don't know if you came across him, Jason. He started off at Dundee, and I played with him at East Fife, and I think he's at Arbroath now. This wee guy, he's frightening. See when before Ronaldo was doing the driving and then the ball dipping, he was doing it before him. For me as a midfielder, he was a winger, but he came off the line and played like in the wee pockets in between the centre half and the fullback. And every time I got the ball, he's five. He made my game easy because every time I looked up, he's in space. The hardest thing in football is to get on the ball, and the wee man, he had that in abundance. How you can just find this area, not getting picked up, and feed them the ball all day. He was a joy to watch and play with, and no matter what he done, if he came short or running behind, I always knew what he was going to do. So me and him were on the same kind of wavelength, and it worked for me. You always get these kind of wee partnerships, and with me and Bobby, and to a wee extent, Paul McManus as well, the wee shagger who was at Albion Rovers. That was his nickname, by the way. It wasn't anything else. He was the same. He liked to go in behind, and I liked obviously the wee clip passes in behind for him, and they scored goals that way. But Bobby Lynn, who should have went on to bigger and better things in his career, to be honest with you, but he's made a good career of himself in the lower divisions and the Championship, League One, League Two. He's done really well for himself. So that's my pick.
There you go, Peter. There you go. He goes for some of the quality players with Motherwell, like Jim O'Brien and
I never played with him.
Kevin Twaddle. Kevin Twaddle, he was a quality player. Twaddle was a good player. To some Billy Bunter, whatever his name is. What's his name? Sean? Billy who?
Bobby.
Whatever. Who cares?
Bobby
Who
Lynn.
cares, Sean?
He done more in the game than what you fucking done, that's for sure.
See, before we come on, did you notice on Sky they had the best?
No, I'm not fucking finished. I'm not finished here.
Right,
fucking set your seat. I'll tell you one thing. The wee man's a good boxer as well, so he would take you any day of the week.
Hey, I'm backing Impact.
Did you notice on Sky tonight the best, one of the best SPF failed games, the 4 each, Hibs and Motherwell at Fir Park?
I'll tell you a better one than that, Sean. Remember the 6 each game?
Oh, aye.
That was midweek. Was it no during the night, a Wednesday night or something?
And you hear the story about like would you had to go in at last minute because the goalie couldn't. He was getting death threats. That's 6 each game. Is that the one you're talking about?
Terry Butcher was in charge with Jurkovic scored the 6-1 for the touchline.
Oh, sorry, I was saying that was the 4 each one.
No, that.
Sorry, I'm
it was 6-0 half time or something like that.
I'm talking about when Celtic beat them 7-1. I'm talking about that game when the goalie couldn't make it and he was getting death threats and Woodge had the gun. That's the game I'm talking about. Sorry, Celtic beat them all. That's what.
On that note, we'll call it a night at that. Remember to watch us on YouTube. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Get the numbers up. Doing great on Facebook, getting the numbers up thanks to these two guys and Colin. So thanks very much for that. But I'd like you to subscribe if it's possible to the YouTube channel and get the numbers up there, so we can maybe get a wee sort of free sponsor.
Hey.
Maybe pack and butter or something. Hair products.
I was going to say, Peter, maybe a good idea for the fans if the Facebook fans, you run a poll to see if they wanted to go live.
Yes.
Maybe mention that.
Yes, Jason, we were talking earlier on there. What's your thoughts about maybe doing a live show so we can get interactive for the fans?
Well, we're around about 1,000 people on Facebook, if I can remember right. It's over 800 anyway, so that's in only 5 or 6 weeks. And I think that'd be phenomenal. Make sure we get some intelligent folk on, like us Motherwell fans, none of the Rangers or Celtic Muppets. There we go. See.
Taking too far.
John, that's a nice tracksuit you wear tonight anyway, pal. You're showing your colours here again.
That's only because the old Darkie's close to my heart. Beats it, mum. That tongue coats, guys. Depends what week it is. He's with a different team every week, so it depends what team.
Well, it's true. It's whoever's paying the wage. Right, lads, I'll let you get on. Thanks very much for your time once again. It's been enjoyable.
Yes. Thank you.
Thanks again. Right, take care.
Bye.
Cheers.